I'd like to show you a number of free iPad apps that you might find useful as you work with ELL students within your classroom. The first is Speak and Translate. Get frequent advertising pop-ups. And so that can be a bit of a pain, but it is a very simple to use app. You can see the two flags at the bottom of the screen represent the two languages that we're translating between. If we click in the lower left, where we see the three bars, it will open up a settings menu. And the settings menu enables us to change our languages, and it doesn't matter which is in the left and which is in the right in the little bubbles, but if we had wanted to change the one on the right there that's highlighted, we could pick from a number of languages. If we're going to change that other language, we simply tap on that flag and have the opportunity to change that as well. By clicking on the little settings icon, we can decide whether we're translating speech to speech or text to text. You can also, in the speech to speech function, decide the speed of the voice that reads back to you and a few other functions. To go back to the main screen, we simply click the three bars, and now we are ready to translate. And so I have speech to speech set. I'm going to tap on whichever flag's language I'm going to speak in. So I'm going to start with English. Hello, how are you? If I have it set to auto-detect when I'm done, it will do just that. And that read to me automatically. I can go to the speech function. Here I can change the speed. I can copy it to the clipboard if I am collecting a number of items. If I were using my iPhone to communicate, or if the student were, I could text these messages. Also able to, or the student is able to, share it in other ways, such as email. So if the student's working on something on a classroom iPad and they'd like to email their own Gmail accounts, they can do that and send the information to themselves. And then finally, the little trash can gets rid of that specific phrase. It's very easy to go from Spanish to English. Simply tap on that flag. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hello, how are you?
And so now it shows me the Spanish and the English, and it responds the translated language. So again, that's speak and translate. Very similar is translate voice. And translate voice does the very same things, just looks different. You can see flags down at the bottom. In translate voice, the way to change the languages is not to tap the flags. That will give you the microphone, but it's to go in the upper right corner to the settings. And again, I can choose my languages here by tapping on those flags. I can go from speech to speech. I can change and go to text to text. To get out of the settings, it is the arrow in the upper left corner. And now I would be able to tap on either flag and it would show speech or text. I'd chosen text to text, and now it's translating for me from one language to the other. And so again, that's translate voice, very similar to speak and translate. Doesn't have the number of annoying pop-ups. A third, and I think far more versatile tool, is Google Translate. What Google Translate doesn't have, along with annoying pop-ups, is it doesn't have a fancy, trendy screen. It's very utilitarian, but you have far more functionality. You can see at the top I've chosen English and Spanish as my two languages. If I needed to change either of them, I would just tap on the name of the language. All my choices would come up, and you'll see that there are, again, far more choices available to me in Google Translate. And it also saves my most recent languages. To go back and forth between languages, I simply do that by tapping those arrows between the languages. Touch to type, pretty self-explanatory. It brings up the keyboard. I hit go, and now I have my two phrases. It does not read to me automatically. I have to tap on either of these speakers.
Yes, I am going. Sí, me voy.
I can favorite this. So that's something that I want to save later. How I see my favorites is the star down at the bottom. If your student or you prefer to use a stylus or to write by hand, the little squiggle will allow you to do that. So I've written there just using my finger. In order to translate this, I need to use the little blue arrow at the bottom of the screen, and it does the same thing that happened with the keyboard.
Tengo sueño. I am sleepy.
I have access to the microphone. I am going to eat a hamburger.
Me voy a comer una hamburguesa.
I can touch the mic if I'm continuing speech to speech or use the back arrow to return to the home screen. And finally, I do have access to the camera. And what the camera will do for me is take a picture of text. It does not work well for large portions of text. It will want you to align the text. And I'm using this particular calendar so that you can see that the font really does matter in this. When I'm ready, and I think I have everything lined up, I scan, and it will put a box around the words that it knows. You can see it didn't select the month of February because that is cursive script. I click select all, and now it's going to translate. I hit the blue arrow to go back to my main page, and now I can listen to it. The settings in Google Translate allow me to take care of some specifics like blocking offensive words. Also, if I wanted to get rid of all of my translation history after we're done, that is where I can clear that. A fourth free app for translation is Scan and Translate. And Scan and Translate simply allows you to take photos of text similar to what we were just looking at in Google Translate. It does a superior job. Again, it does not recognize handwritten or script text as well, but it reads plain text quite well and would be a better option if you're going to take pictures of signs or other text than Google Translate. I hope you see how these 4 apps would benefit you with ELL students in your classroom. I'd suggest that you download all 4, play with them a bit, or allow your English language learners to play with them and decide which app or apps best suit that student's needs.